Hello, hello.
Hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of Gentle Power.
Welcome. And today we have a super exciting and interesting guest, Annija Eizenarma.
That sounds so good.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Nice.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. So, I've been calling you Annija, but it's Annija.
It's Annija,
Okay,
yes.
Annija. Okay, so because Annija means ship in Albania. I keep saying this to you.
I'll take it as a compliment.
Yeah, it's a compliment. Yeah. I was going to make a silly joke, like everything has a ship, relationship, friendship.
And in San Francisco, you ship things.
You ship things,
and
yeah.
there's like shipments and all that. So thanks for joining us. We actually met at a rave.
I feel like half of our guests, we usually end up meeting at some sort of really creative
Cool.
or interesting event in San Francisco.
Yeah.
There's so much overlap between what people do for work and what people do for fun.
Yeah.
But what we met at was like a renegade party. So technically like where people just show up with speakers and DJ decks at some place in a public space. It was against the backdrop of the Golden Gate Bridge.
So beautiful.
Sunset. I got to DJ a bit, very impromptu. A lot of our friends were there, but yeah, we're so glad that we meet so many of our guests at these events and parties that we go out to in SF.
Yeah, and it turns out that we're all members of this community space, Shack 15 as well. That's funny. I think you said there's an overlap between what people do for work and then what people do for fun. I think what it is maybe because our renegades are kind of creative, not allowed, think outside the box type of parties. And then we're, in the Bay, there's a lot of founders. We're all like founder types. And we just like playing outside the box, basically. But I'll turn it over to you and welcome. And can you walk us through your background? You're from Europe like me.
Mm-hmm.
Should we start there?
Yes, we should. And thank you for having me. I really appreciate what you're doing and the things you're sharing with the community, with people that are looking, to learn more about negotiations, power, and the things that you're, discussing in your podcast. I really like it. And yeah, it's so fun to see these both worlds coexisting in San Francisco and people like having this creative expression of themselves, which I'm only happen to like bit by bit learn. The first year I arrived in San Francisco, I didn't see any of that creative part of the city. So it's been like a journey for me to open the doors to this creativity as well the city has to offer.
Yeah.
And I'm very glad we met.
Yeah, same.
So yeah, before San Francisco, I'm born and raised in Latvia, which is a tiny country. Only 2 million citizens live in Latvia.
Wow, that's smaller than Albania. We're at 3 million.
Okay,
Yeah.
we're pretty close then.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm born and raised there. I consider myself very curious from nature and go-getter. I started my first business when I was 15 and then the second when I was 17.
Were
And
these like lemonade stands?
Or B2B SaaS. What kind of businesses were these?
Business at 15.
so interestingly enough, the first business I started was organic cotton bag business
Oh, cool.
to fight plastics. Yeah, so it was it was a journey. I can share a little bit about that later, but actually that put so much of the foundations I have today as a person, just like having that experience very early on. But yeah, I have done a bunch of things in Latvia, experimented a lot to build something I'm really proud of. We built a leading company in our industry, in our part of the world.
What company? What industry?
So,
I'll ask a lot of questions throughout. We might not get to the present day.
so the company I started at 15 or at 17, which one?
Let's start with 15.
15.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think one take as well from my side is that you can find opportunities at every level. The school I'm coming from, it's like a very small school in countryside of Latvia. The word ambitious is not really something that people would recognize there. So there were a few things that I noticed as an opportunity in the school and I made sure to grab them as soon as I saw them. And there were one thing, which was this option to start your business within the school, in the school environment. And there was one teacher that I really liked. I was really average in most of the grades, in most of the classes, but in one subject I was exceptionally good because I really wanted this teacher to be my mentor. And this teacher also happened to run the initiative to start your business within the school. And we got close, and I think she believed in me, and she encouraged to start this business. So I started this with my classmates, and it was this multifunctional, organic cotton bag business, even before this whole momentum around, avoiding plastics and all these, protests that started. So I started to do it, and quickly we started to sell these bags in grocery stores in Latvia, and then took these bags to different countries and started to sell them in different countries. And we had to make a business plan and pitch the business plan. So first experience of pitching your business in front of banks. And I remember we won a sympathy award from one bank, and I was like, wow, I didn't know that it's possible. But I think when you do it young, you kind of prove yourself that you can. You put yourself in those environments. And so that was a great lesson. I remember we didn't earn much because you have to manufacture the bags, but the journey was, that was the best part of it, I think.
Wow.
Yeah.
The revenue.
And what was the 17-year-old business?
I mean, that was the grand slam, that was a good bet.
Okay.
Yeah. So another interesting thing that happened, and actually I think the more interesting story is how I happened to land on that opportunity to start a business. Is continuing the story about taking the opportunities. So in my school, a little bit backstory if you're interested.
Yeah.
So in my school, we didn't have many exciting things going on, but occasionally there were some smart entrepreneurs that came to give lectures. And there was one entrepreneur that came, and he really impressed me. And after his lecture, I approached him and I asked if I can anyhow help him with his work, because I knew that he's working for the biggest entrepreneurs organization in Latvia. And I saw him as an opportunity to basically get surrounded by smarter people, by entrepreneurs. And I don't come from a family of entrepreneurs. I have never seen an entrepreneur close. So for me, it was like a different world that I never knew. And he said, okay, I can interview you. Let's see what you can do. And I understood what he needs. And I said, I can do this work for you for free. I don't need, any money. And so he took me under his wing. He mentored me. He pulled me.
This is while you were in high school.
This is when I'm in high school. Okay. And this person also played a significant role in my life. And that's how I also started my business, because of him. That's why I'm...
Third business?
The second.
Okay, second. Okay.
And so, and this person, I worked with him for years. I was surrounded by entrepreneurs. I was meeting 10 people a day, different entrepreneurs, and basically welcoming them in this entrepreneurs organization. And...
Are you going to school at the same time?
Yes.
Yeah, because what you're explaining sounds like a full-time job, but this is while you're a student.
Yes, it's while I'm a student. It started as like an internship without any pay. And then I remember after 2 months, he paid me like 50 euros or 60 euros or something symbolic. But for me, it was like, wow, I didn't even ask for it. What a good deal. And so, it was just a journey of like understanding what's out there, what's possible. When you seem to have no opportunities around, you can always ask for them and have audacity to ask for them and just negotiate your way there in a way, right? And so this person, interestingly enough, he played a pivotal role because I helped him a lot. And in the first year, I actually officially joined the company, this organization, and I made my way to the top. And for me, it was a proof to myself that I can. And this person introduced me to one young guy, and he said, this one young guy is very ambitious, you must talk with him. And I met him, and this person was crazy. And he was crazy. He was obsessed about technology, infrastructure, and he had this idea. He had this idea to build smart homes. Smart homes, yes. And for me, it was, wow, this is interesting. So I started to research, and I understood that I'm also interested in this idea.
What year was this?
This was 2017, before the whole energy efficiency boom, before all the smart home kind of growth. It was very, very early in the stages when in London everybody was talking about it.
Do you care about the environment, it sounds like, from the bags to the smart home?
In a way, I guess so. It's about impact, about making the world a better place, of course, But interestingly enough, after we met and I realized that this is something that I really want, and talking about negotiation, I remember myself being in a place of wanting to work together with this person. And we're not really knowing what the next step is and where this is going to go. And so what happened is I understood that I have to get to the same level. So I took all the hardware, equipment, catalogs, all the electrical wiring catalogs and all of that information to study. I studied, I came back to him, I said, I did some research. I know a thing or two now. Can you meet with me? Can we go through things? Can we, work on this together? And bit by bit, we started to take meetings. And then I wanted to prove that I can also sell the solutions as we started to develop the solutions for apartments.
So did you join as a co-founder before you're selling the solution?
No.
Okay.
We joined on the ideation level when both of us had ideas. He had a small business before, and I didn't have a business at all at the point. I was just curious, I was curious. It just sparked curiosity in me, and I kept on pulling that thread of curiosity. And the next point was when I realized I want to actually sell this solution, and then I want to prove to myself and to him that I can get this solution in front of people. So I did. I started to organize meetings. It started to go well. People from the industry, bit by bit, started to listen to us and take some meetings. And then I was thinking, you know what? I should actually be a sales director.
But at this point, you weren't anything.
No.
You were just helping him for free.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Just
yes.
kind of trying to learn from him and prove yourself.
Exactly.
Okay.
And he had his small company, and he was trying to start this business. And I said, I should be a sales director.
Nice.
And he's like, okay. So it's like, we should make me a business card.
So are you still in school at that point?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Are you still in school right now? I feel like
You're in high school right now.
Yeah.
And how was he? Like, is he a peer age-wise, much older, or?
Yeah, he was. So I was 17, turning 18. He was 20.
Okay. Okay. Wow. Okay.
So we're both really young and without a clue what we're doing. But I was sales director.
Yeah, nice.
I had a business card. I thought,
not drink.
I was like, I have to look serious,
Yeah.
And so, and that's where it all started, because that role, it was important for me. And it allowed me to enter the rooms where I couldn't enter any other how, right? And at some point, it was going well, and I proposed. I was like, you know what, we should start a business together. And that's when we co-founded the company. And we joined the mission to build smart homes. And that's when it all started, basically. But it was a long journey till we get there. And for me, it was constantly negotiating with myself and with others about, my ability to.
Wow. Amazing. And what do you mean by negotiating with yourself?
Just proving that I'm worth it. I always believe that negotiations go hand in hand with execution. You can't ask for more than you
I guess deserve
can show up. Justify. Yes, exactly. So
Hold on, let me just grab her.
A little excited.
Literally, like, she never.
She's
Catch me if you can.
yeah, seriously. She gets okay, well
Wait, she's never like.
we're gonna keep this. She was just running
Yeah,
around.
she's okay. All right,
I'm
here,
very
join now.
excited for some reason.
Yeah.
Entrepreneurial journey. She wants this. Okay, very cool. So did you negotiate with yourself because in a way you had to also prove to yourself? I love that point so much, and it's very important and it's very subtle, where people often ask us on like mindset and all that. I'm like, you have to convince yourself first to be able to deliver whatever you're asking for in a very authentic way.
Exactly.
Because people can pick up on little micro expressions, and if you don't believe that you deserve it, people are going to pick up on that, and you're not going to get the desired outcome.
100%.
Yeah. Amazing. I mean, you can share as much as you want, but I'm curious. So you're negotiating with yourself. I assume you're negotiating with a business partner, equity, pay, things like that. Like, how did you prepare for that? Can you share a little bit about that?
I mean, I think I always have had like a very high audacity, and at some point, like,
as a true Eastern European person, I can relate.
so this is how it's gonna go. No, I think it comes again.
90, 90%, you get 10%.
It comes in hand in, because you have to justify your ask, right? And you can justify your ask with your skill and with your ability to do things, to get things done, not like some dream, not some vision. And I think that's really important for people to have that, the data. And the facts, it doesn't have to be from the same exact experience. It can be from other areas of your life. Like I always, like when I interview founders, in order to like introduce them to investors or take them to venture institutes, I always ask, like, can you show me the evidence of who you are from other areas of the life? You must have the data that proves that you're extraordinary. It can be in studies, it can be in your personal life, and I think it's our job to collect the data for ourselves. And I think it helps to get us to the next level, to whatever we choose to do in whichever part, right, of our journeys.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
Little data sets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many tangents we can go in, but one thing I love in psychology and personal growth, this concept of you have to keep your word to yourself, also, which is tangentially related to negotiating with yourself. And that really helps you meet your goals as the more you prove to yourself that you can keep your word to yourself.
100%.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the most important things of like self-confidence is that
Exactly.
you have to show up for yourself.
Yeah.
And it's sometimes hard because we do let ourselves down with like small habits and didn't do this or didn't do that, but we can always return.
Yeah.
And it's actually so fascinating how quickly can we earn back that confidence as soon as we come back to the schedule, to to-dos, to everything. It's magical. And sometimes we get stuck in this thinking that, oh, I lost it. No, you can actually get back in one day.
Yeah.
Right.
I love that. Okay, so you start the smart home business, then what happens?
Yeah, so we started a business. We actually built it together for 6 years.
Wow.
I'm saying, when I'm like looking back at it, that it was our university. I was doing the remote university at the time as well while we were building.
Wow. You cannot do just one thing at a time.
ADHD. Yeah. ADHD. But yeah, so we grew up together, and it was our 6-year anniversary of building a business where we learned so much. And eventually we hired a bunch of students. First of all, we didn't have any money, so we didn't make any money. We didn't fundraise any money for a long time, right? So we bootstrapped the business. And at some point we did fundraise a little bit of money, and that period of that period, we didn't have really a venture capital in our country as an option.
Yeah.
So we raised from private equity
Oh, wow.
on crazy terms.
Wow.
But we took the money anyways because we had this grand plan that in order to grow, we need to acquire a company.
Okay.
Yes, and so in
That
order...
builds homes?
Actually, it was interesting because the company was leading in parking automation solutions, and they were manufacturing the actual parking solutions. And we saw that by us building a smart homes, which is eventually the building and everything around the buildings, that the natural extension of a building is parking lot, and that we could get a bigger part of a market and also like in a smart way expand the automation in the parkings. And that went really well. And we acquired the company. We merged both companies. Our company was people that were from 20 to 29, something like that. And the company we acquired were people from 45 to 55. So I was like, okay, how's this going to go?
Wait, so when you acquired it, was your company the majority
Yes.
team? And then I'm curious, because it seems like there are two very different cultures. How did you merge the two cultures together?
Yeah, so the start was not smooth, but I felt also that people from the company we acquired, they first of all, they cared about their jobs. They have been working most of them have been working in the company for 10 plus years. So it felt like it's part of who they are. And I felt that they want to continue to do what they do. And so what we did is we met every person one by one, understood their purpose and what they're doing, what they want to continue to do. And I think very crucial thing for us was not to try to be commanders or tell people you're going to do this is what's going to happen. We were not in place to do that. And so I think that's where, like, I personally learned empowerment through leadership, where you try to just make everybody feel that they're so special. And they are.
Yeah.
Everybody's special in their craft. And it does wonders. It does wonders to individual when you see the person mechanic who's putting together hardware. You see him as a god of that specific niche, and he feels that. And I think that's where we managed to build respect because we had to earn it. The feeling was strange when two 20-year-olds walk in, a team full of wise 40-plus male-dominated collective, right? So it was for sure a once-in-a-lifetime experience.
Wow.
But it worked out well because it felt like our team was young, but they were not as wise and experienced, but they were ready to do things. They were active. And the other team was more wise, slower, more relaxed.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they both can benefit from each other.
Yeah.
And learn lessons from each other. And it felt like, it took a little bit of time, but it worked out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It worked out, yeah. We moved in one office.
That reminds me of, so before I worked in tech, I used to be in the military. I was an officer in the U.S. Air Force. And the way the military is structured, there is the officer corps, but then there's also enlisted. So enlisted are people, you join the military, you know, when you just like go and join the army, like that's it's a different ranking system. And within the military, and then officers, the lowest officer ranking is higher than the most senior enlisted ranking. And so a senior enlisted person can have served in the military for like 20, 30 years, right? And so when you become an officer, you're usually coming out of college or you're pretty young in your early 20s. And even though there is this hierarchy where the officer technically is higher rank and the enlisted person reports to them, they say the most successful officers are the ones who actually have a learning mindset when they're working with the enlisted people. And so really respecting all the experience that they've had, not pulling rank and trying to like kind of boss them around and command them just because technically you're higher ranked than them. But it seems like that's what you took. That was the same approach that you took with this company that you acquired. There are these veterans in the parking world.
Exactly.
And you approach them from a curiosity mindset, wanting to learn, respecting the wisdom that they have, you know, that they bring to the table, even though you're much younger than them as well. So.
100%. This is like very clever. I think it's a very clever strategy of merging the teams and also leadership. And I think U.S. military knows how to do it over the years. They have learned the best practices. It takes them a lesson or two from them.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So by the point where you're acquiring another company, did you have a product? Did you have like revenue? What was going on until then?
So we were profitable company when we did acquire this business. I would say that for sure we needed an investment to make the purchase. It was not cheap to do this move, but we did. That's why we did it as well. But yeah, we built a profitable company, and we were building the company that we can sell as well. It took us a long time to build what it stands for today and what it is today, right? We started with very small apartments, and then we started to do bigger offices and hotels and like airport territories, and it had to grow steadily, and it also required a lot of work, a lot of convincing people, a lot of building trust and negotiating, you know, your place in the very male-dominated, very traditional industry. Yeah.
And then you acquired a company, then what happened? Now you're in SF. So how did we get from there to here?
So after like 6 years in the making, we felt like it's a good point. Like I felt it's a good point that I have done everything that I could to put it and set it up for success from my part. And my partner as well wanted to stay and continue to run the business. So I exited the business, and the company was acquired by one of the leading European manufacturers in building automation system industry in general.
Building out what?
Building automation system. Building automation system.
Oh, automation.
Yes, It's like BMS kind of concept. And after my exit, I was thinking, what should I do next? Should I continue to be a big fish in a small lake, or should I go to a bigger ocean? And I miss this feeling of feeling like nothing again, I guess, because, that's what happens to all of us when we come to US, I guess. We just get a fresh water all over us, and realizing that we're no one here.
So small,
we're so small, we're no one, we have no reputation, all of a sudden, right? So I got my O1 visa, and I moved in 2025. And since then I have worked with more than...
Last year?
Yeah.
Oh,
very recent.
Very recent,
Did you sell the company first, then you left?
Yes.
Or you left? Okay.
Yes. Because that was my decision-making process. Like, okay, after I close this chapter, where do I want to open my next chapter? And then when I got my visa, it was clear, okay, I'm going to come to San Francisco. This is the place of innovation, of businesses, and I was so eager to learn. I never assumed that I know a lot, and I was so eager to learn. So I came here with a beginner mindset, and I have this principle, givers gain, and I came really with like, I'm going to give all I know, all I can give to accelerators, to startups, and share my journey, what I have learned, in exchange, hopefully, to learn something about the US market and how people think here, how their mentality is, how their business world and ethics work. And so I did. And I joined Techstars as a mentor and some other accelerators. And the startups just kept coming, and I kept coming having all those calls. And I was like, wow, like all these funding rounds, all these opportunities. And I felt like a kid in a candy store. I was like, I don't know, what should I do now? It's there's so much to choose from.
Yeah. Had you visited San Francisco before you moved here?
Yes, I did come once with like a few entrepreneurs and the prime minister of Latvia here to some like business mission, and we visited it and we went to a few enterprise companies, and that's when I was like, oh, this is an interesting place.
Yeah.
Nice.
What was it about San Francisco that you felt like, okay, there are things happening here, or kind of this is the future, or whatnot?
Why not New York?
Yeah.
We have a bit of rivalry. I have a personal rivalry with New York.
Did you live in New York?
Because we have never lived there full time. We visit a lot and we spend summers there often. But a lot of our friends move from SF to New York. So I love hearing that people choose SF over New York.
Wow.
Yeah, all the New Yorkers don't at us.
Well, let's see where I'm in a year. Who knows? I just arrived. I just arrived. Yeah, I have seen this movement as well, but I think it really depends on, it's I think social life and also what field of business you're in. For me, as it has been, I really came here open to opportunities, open to learn, open to decide what I want to do next. And so I think this was the best place where to see it all, to see it in the whole glory, like all the industries, AI and everything, right? So that's how I decided, because I didn't really need social life. I was not really curious to go and party and do all these things. I was like, I'm coming here for my next university. It's time to learn again. Yeah.
Although we did meet at a renegade rave under the Golden Gate Bridge. But
Partying is also networking in SF. You cannot.
We've gotten clients from the parties or the DJ gigs that I'll perform at. There's so much. I think that does make SF very unique. There is so much overlap, like as we were saying.
Well, take me to more parties then.
Yeah. Let's get you some clients. I don't know.
Party animals.
Alex DJs a lot on the side. So, okay, I have many questions. Can you walk us through a negotiation or a power dynamic or both?
From my experience in my life, I mean, I have so many of them. I guess I do it every day. But like, I feel like, as we were talking a lot about my previous businesses, like one of the things that was really interesting, we had this one client, like very big client, and it was a contract worth of hundreds of thousands of dollars, just one contract. And we really wanted it. And we always were climbing the ladder of getting bigger clients, bigger projects, because we were design and build. We designed the systems and also build them. And so I remember this one project. It was the most innovative, the coolest, most modern office about to be built in our country. And there was this construction company, like very legacy, dominating company. And I was like thinking, how do I get to the decision makers? So I was like, bit by bit, calling people, getting to the managers. They were taking me higher up, and I finally get to talk with the owner of the business and the people that are deeply involved with the project. And I'm saying, we would really want to participate in this project. What could we do about it? They're like, no, there's no chance. We already have subcontractor. Like, thank you so much. All the best for you. Basically, ending the conversation.
They had subcontractor, meaning like they had someone else doing the smart home?
They were like, okay, we already know who we're going to work with. And that's like, this like industry is really relationship oriented. Yes. So if you did the work with someone, you already built relationship with them, you'll probably choose them again if they didn't screw you up.
So that means you had competitors in smart homes. Yeah.
They started to come up. Okay. They started to come up. And of course, there were people in companies with more capital that could pick it up quicker than we, without any knowledge, any understanding, any capital, right? So companies were picking it up. And even if they weren't great, they were chosen because of the relationships. Yeah. And that's what we saw. And that was our edge, because we know where we could do it really well. And we had the knowledge. We really did the extra work and put in an extra effort. And so what we offered is like, okay, we don't need the project, but what we will offer is for free to do like a third-party advisory for this project. And just to evaluate like how it's set up, maybe we can find ways how you can optimize.
They work with someone else, probably your competitor.
Yes.
And you're like, I will like evaluate the work for free.
Yes, yeah, we will look through.
That's really smart.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, we will just see if there are any flaws that we can spot or any suggestions from our experience without any cost. And I actually am surprised that they agreed.
Yeah, because they would have to lay in the room in all these meetings that are probably sensitive or like
Exactly.
a bunch of kids joining.
Yeah. Exactly. But they said, okay. And I think we were walking in with a goal to find how to optimize, like
Yeah.
from day one. So
Why do you think they said okay?
I think because in construction, you really have to save every penny that you can. It's the industry that is known for having hundreds of subcontractors and very unexpected costs always coming up. And that's how they lose their profits. So whenever they can optimize, they're very interested. It's about, in construction, it's not about making the money, it's about saving the money. So understanding,
money.
yes,
Oh, I
exactly. It's about understanding their incentive. I mean, depends on whom you're selling to. For architects, for example, we can make more money because they can sell the service for more with the smart, innovative solutions. But the construction companies who are ready to build, they're trying to get the costs down.
Yeah. And how did you come up, you and your business partner or whoever, how did you come up with this idea? Like, why don't we offer free consultation?
How did we come up with this?
Yeah.
I mean, it just takes a lot of time to do it in a very well. So, but it's a good strategy because you can get in early, you can help, and it also gives us learning environment. Put in the door, relationships.
Yeah.
And I think that's when things change because in this specific project, we found how they can save a lot of money. A lot of money. And we sent our proposition and said, you know what? We think that your subcontractor is actually screwing you because there's a lot of unnecessary equipment inside of there that you don't need.
Yeah.
And he was like, okay, let me run this with one other advisor. And yeah, and it happened that one other advisor that we knew the other advisor they were working with. And so he basically validated, that it's true. And then, okay, I was like, okay, we get the project. And then they were saying, you know what, thank you for your help. We send the optimization design to our subcontractor. They will adjust the estimates and they will do it.
Oh, nice.
I was like, oh no, that's not nice because I was like, oh no, we lost it because I was thinking that we will be able to build it.
Yeah, like you wanted to basically replace the subcontractor?
Yes.
Yeah.
Were
They
you
said-
afraid that the other subcontractor will just like, threaten your family?
I mean, let's not forget that we live in Eastern Europe. It's actually, it's a different school. That's a different conversation. Yeah.
The School of Hard Knocks, yeah.
School of Hard Knocks.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then it was the second wave of negotiations because we really wanted to build it. And so as the project was separated in two different parts, we actually placed our bid because the construction works on bids. So we placed our bid and we bid for very low price, like very low price. And in construction as well, you have to choose the lowest price often. If everything is in place, there's just like few rules according to which they choose the subcontractor. And yeah, and as we had super low price because we knew if we start to build the phase one, we'll get the phase two.
Oh, yeah.
And then we will just compensate everything in phase two. And it worked.
So,
yeah.
So just to recap, so there was this project, you really wanted it. You approached them, they said, we already have a subcontractor, we don't really need anyone.
Yes.
And you said, okay, we'll do some review of your current process for free. You did that. You saw that their current subcontractor, there were many places that this client could save a lot of money. And they're like, oh, wow, thank you for this.
Yeah.
We're going to continue to go with them. But then the project split into two and then you bid. So that original subcontractor was on this one part, but then you bid for the second one with a very low price.
Very close, yeah. So it's as it is design and build. The first part is when you design the project and the second is when you build.
Yeah.
And as the construction is massive, you usually make phase one, phase two, phase three, so it builds in phases. So the first part when we negotiated, was on the design part. And then when it transitioned into building phase, they have to make the bids. We have to make bids. We can make bid, they can make bid, right?
I see.
And so they wanted to continue with the original
Got it.
person.
Okay.
So, but we outbid them with the price.
And you probably had insight into how much they were charging.
Exactly.
So that
That's
you were
how we
able
did it.
to
Yeah.
submit a lower price, more competitive bid
so
proposal. Wow.
Did you have advisors in your company that know the environment and all that?
Yeah, no.
No? Okay.
You're like, I am my own advisor.
No.
Very often, and I try to do this myself. So there's the sort of the way things are done usually, and then the way we come up with things creatively. Sometimes I will not even read up on a certain way things are done because I don't want it to influence my thinking. So we do test, for example, like we do test AI occasionally on negotiation tips just to see how good it's gotten. But very often I try not to even look at some certain things because I don't want it to influence how I start. So I'm curious about the way you handle negotiations or all these very creative solutions, like we'll offer free advisory and like we'll bid the lowest. Did you have people with a lot more experience sort of suggesting these things, or these are things that you and your business partner came up with yourselves?
I think it's a mix, because the same thing as you said is like we didn't want to be influenced by the legacy players, because it's like there's a saying, if you don't want someone's life, don't ask for their advice. And we're like, we really don't really want to be the companies with such reputation and such ethics and like work ability as the companies out there. We want to be above that. So we kind of invented our own way of working, which was very messy, of course. But again, I became a member of a construction association in my country. And that association brought together very different companies from within the construction field. So we happened to learn people from government, people from architect offices, interior designers, manufacturers, suppliers. And I think it's like this shared consciousness, shared knowledge that we can suggest and advise each other on, even if it's not applied in your direct industry, but it's from close enough industries. I think I really took some good advice from people around me. And also, I think this is really important to learn that givers truly gain. And this is what this organization and association taught me, that if you come in with, it was interesting. So this organization had a very interesting approach of gathering people. Every morning when we met once in a week, 6:30 a.m.
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
And when we met,
I would
Early.
stay up for that. I would not wake up for that.
so let me tell you how we work with Brain there. And so we wake up and we did the same thing every morning. So every morning, every member had to like make a pitch, do a pitch of themselves for 30 seconds, elevator pitch every time. Yeah. Everybody already knows you, who you are, what you do, but despite the fact that everybody already is tired of your pitch, you do it anyways.
Wow.
Just so you sit on the people's consciousness and they remember about you, about your business and how they can help you. And so you say who you are, you have 30 seconds, and then you always say how you can help others. Like, oh, I'm doing this, I can help with this. Every week there's something new that comes up that you can help others with. And then you say your ask. Oh, I'm looking for, vice president of company X. Maybe somebody happens to know the person. And guess what? People do. People do happen to know people. And when you're coming in with, this is what I can help you with, and this is what I need, people find ways how to help you because you're coming in with the give first. And this has taught me a lot of how I show up in life. I always make sure that I come up with something that I can help someone with. And I never ask too early because I think it kills trust. Right. And I think this has been one of the principles that has guided, back to your question, our journey of like, make sure that we give first, build that relationship, educate them, show them what we can do. And even now, like with my work with startups, I always make sure that I give first, I make the connection, I introduce someone to investor, right? I give some feedback on their pitch or their deck. And then the things, circle back. People are good. I think everybody's good and they want to give back eventually, right? And then you find your advisors and your mentees.
It's
Giver's
like
gain. That's amazing.
Was that a giver's gain?
Giver's gain.
Yeah,
Principle.
because if you just freely give with no expectation in return, if you do that enough, I think it generates so much goodwill in your vicinity that it probably naturally comes back to you, right? Like when you need something or when you need, help.
100%. And that's why I have this one take that goes in a way hand in hand with that. But it does have to have another element to this giver's gain. Is like you have to also be clear when you're giving and know when the line is. Because I know that there are many people that overgive and they're tired and exhausted from it because they never make an ask. But that's why the principle is you pitch yourself, you state clearly who you are, what you do, and you show yourself on the stage. You have to show yourself who you are. Because nobody will find you under your bed, there under the blanket, right? Yeah. You say who you are, you say how you can help people with your services, with your whatever connections, and then you say what you want and how you can get someone's help on the things you need. And I have this principle that You don't get what you deserve. You get what you negotiate for.
Did you see that on our website? That's like front
That's
and
one of
center
our
on our
that's one of
website.
our favorite quotes too. We put
And
on
I
our
think
website.
I think it's there for a reason that we share it, because you have from your own practice in your own businesses seen this firsthand.
Yeah.
Is that you're doing a great job. There will not always be people that will run towards you with opportunities. You have to do the great job and then make an ask.
Yeah.
Right? You make an ask, and it just gives you more exposure and more opportunities in general, right?
Yeah.
And then, like, when you have to earn that seat at the table, but when you are at the table, you have to make sure that you have your hand very like have hand raised, basically,
Yeah.
always, right? Because if you are at the table and you don't have your hand raised, sooner or later you will not be at the table anymore, right? So earning your place at the table through, first of all, understanding what do you want from life, who are the stakeholders or decision makers in that area of life, how you can step in their shoes and see the world with their eyes, how you can add value to them, how you can show up if you don't have skill with more work, outwork others, and do exceptionally well. Repeat that cycle, then ask for their mentorship and guidance, then ask to be invited to sit at the table, and then when you're at the table, then you repeat the cycle, then you show up with exceptional work, and in the end, you raise your hand for questions, for opportunities. And that's, I think, really important to understand, is that it coexists. It has to coexist. You can't just sit there, relax. Oh, finally I made it. Now I'm gonna comfortably sit here. No, you have to make an ask, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, ask for what you deserve.
Wow.
Yeah, I
Love
think
it.
it's really important. At least it's like how I try to see my life, of like, I'm gonna ask for it for sure. You know?
Yeah.
Yes.
Some people, I feel like a lot of people are afraid to make the ask because they don't want to feel like they're imposing.
But why do you think?
I think people like maybe one reason is like they are like chronic people pleasers, right? They, you know,
no one in
not
this
me,
room.
or right, but and so they feel like that they can only earn someone's respect or trust by doing something for them. But I think studies show that if you actually ask someone for something, it has them trust you more, right?
And people when they give you more, they like you more because they have to justify it in their minds that you were worth it.
Yeah.
I think the they in this room, Alex identifies as a people pleaser, but one place where I have a hard time asking is for mentorship. My whole life I've had such a blocker around it because my culture, and I wonder if, I think we all have some similarities in our cultures. It's, you don't want to impose on people. And I was always so afraid to even ask my professors for mentorship because I'm like, what do they get out of this? I have nothing to offer, because I hadn't realized that giving gives you pleasure in and of itself as a gesture. And at the time, I didn't have the experience of mentoring others where I could see that, wow, this is actually very rewarding. So yeah, I love all that you said.
So why do you think you were afraid of asking them to mentor you? What exactly in that scenario, what do you think was
Who's
there?
interviewing whom here?
I'm curious because I think
know.
there's just one answer to this. I think it's hearing no. I just think
It's hearing no. I think for me,
Like people being afraid to hear no.
I wasn't
That's why
afraid
they
to
don't ask.
hear no. It was that it felt like asking for something for free. Like I'm like, I can never pay them back. Like it felt like asking for free labor. You know what I mean? Like can you help me? I don't know, find a job.
No, I
It's
understand.
Like, do it yourself. You know what I mean? But
No, it makes
I
sense.
like for sure. I think people are very afraid of hearing no, but I actually love hearing no in general in negotiations. This is my one blocker.
This is when you get excited. You're like, yes. Now you get
A challenge. Yeah.
But I love hearing no because that means to me that I haven't left value on the table. I've asked, we've explored different ways to make each other better off. And then when I hear a no, I'm like, okay, assuming it's a real no, because sometimes it's a soft no. But assuming it's a real no, I'm like, okay, I didn't leave value on the table.
And I think when people hear no, they also see it as a sign of rejection of themselves.
Yeah, internalizing that.
And so exactly. Like they make it personal, like whether or not it actually was the case. And so I think people are very, very scared. Like how did you overcome that or kind of put that aside and still make your asks?
I was lately thinking about this topic and of why, because I also, in some phases of life, even now, I'm the same. I also am sometimes, scared of these no's, or, not as confident in ways of being. And I think why? Because I'm internalizing things. And every time when I have this feeling, it's the same answer. Internalizing potential scenarios that I don't want there to be. I'm taking them personally, because when we were kids, we really don't have this, right? When like we ask something to our parents and they say no, it's like, why?
Yeah.
Why not? And we can ask this why so many times until we get it, right? So we don't have this like, oh, my parents said no, now I'm bad the kid or something. Never.
Yeah.
We never have that. And it's like, can you come back to that kid, that version of yourself that was like, then take things personally. You're great. You're a fool. Like you're great as you are, right? And I think I'm trying to always remember myself as a kid when I'm having situation like that in front of me, when I feel, oh no, I'm about to feel something that I don't want to feel, or look down to myself, or speak, have negative self-talk. I was like, little Annija would never have a negative self-talk. She was very, very brave about her all decisions and all the asks, She always had a seat at the table and didn't ask if she's supposed to be there or supposed to be elsewhere, right? So trying to go back to that feeling, I think it's important as we as kids don't internalize things. And same thing we talked when we started is about that building that self-trust and knowing that you're capable. As well, for me, it's been starting business in different industries and just understanding that you can really recreate that like lifestyle and environment in different fields because of who you are and your work ability. I think that's beautiful.
Yeah. I also think I'm kind of connecting the dots here. Earlier, we were talking about being accountable to yourself and having integrity and like keeping your word to yourself. I think the fact that you have made it a habit for yourself, that gives you confidence to make these asks, because you know that inherently, my sense is you know that you are a dependable, capable person. And then so when you make these asks and you hear no, it doesn't really mean much about who you are. Like there's no reason for you to internalize, because you're like, but still at the end of the day, I am a capable person who keeps their word, like whether to myself or someone else. And I think that probably gives you that confidence to kind of make these asks, right?
Yeah.
Well, why don't we go a bit more edgy? So what are
Where you want to go?
What are your hot takes on negotiations and maybe power?
Well, I think I shared a few, at least that the one that really I live by is that like you have to raise that hand when you're at the table. I don't know how hot or cold is that, but for me it's like,
I like it. Yeah.
like you have to ask for what you
warm.
deserve. It's warm. Can I turn the temperature on?
Yeah. I like the giver's gain as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let me think.
When we think of hot takes is something that goes counter to either common sense or what most people believe.
I mean, what I have heard, at least in the environments, is that asking and stating what you want is masculine, which I don't believe in. I think it's very feminine to know what you want.
Yeah.
It's very feminine to like understand where you want to go and what you can give, and knowing what you want, and still you can be very feminine female and do all these things. And for many years, I have been told and at least heard that those are not the things that women are supposed to do, as it makes them more masculine. And I think it just comes from weak people. Yeah.
Okay, yes, I love
Nice.
that we talked about weak people.
Yeah.
That makes me wonder, because you were in this like construction world with like older men, mostly male dominated. Were you ever toning down your femininity? You're wearing red now, which I love. So I actually, if anyone has noticed, I wear black almost in every episode, because when we first started this podcast, we were recording we lived at a different apartment and recording from our couch, because we just wanted to start getting the reps in. And I got feedback that your podcast doesn't look very serious, because we were on a couch. I don't blame them.
Oh, wow. The most popular podcasts now are on the couches.
Yeah, that is
Yeah,
true.
right?
That is
Yeah.
true. But I love that as soon as you entered here, you're like, wow, this is serious. I'm like, yeah.
Validation.
And so I wear black. I've been wanting to like paint our wall black and just like 'cause Alex,
And have like the studio be kind of dark.
Dark
And I'm like,
and-
I don't know. I kind of like this setting right now.
I
But
think it's because I'm also trying to offset. Like Alex and I are just. I'd like to think very sweet people. We smile, we laugh, and so I'm like, okay, let's just tone it, like make it more like serious through our clothing and our wall color and all that. But yeah, I'm curious. Like, did you ever tone down what you truly wanted to
Interesting.
say or wear or lipstick or whatever?
I like that the black is a serious color for you.
Isn't
You know,
it?
It's like
Isn't it?
it's very grown up color.
Right? Yeah.
I want to paint everything black. Yeah, for sure I had it. I remember like trying to look older, you know, wearing clothes that made me look older, more serious, you know, like these long skirts and like these blazers. And my business partner as well, he from day one was wearing like a full suit, like to work.
That's funny.
And I was, but he still till this
Tie
day.
or something? No.
I don't remember tie, but for sure with like shirt and like the blazer and the pants and the fancy shoes, you know, like
So
it was like
Because you were so young.
Yes.
You were 20, right?
Yes.
Or you were 17, he was 20.
Yes.
And then I actually have friends, and I may or may not have done this myself years ago, who wear fake glasses. Like they're not,
it's like
they don't
on there?
need prescription glasses, but they just wear fake.
I didn't go that far. No.
I didn't do it either.
yeah, who? Just you
Yeah.
heard of someone
Yeah.
doing this.
I've
Yeah.
actually done this in job interviews because I'm like, I'll just use anything. If people are using heuristics and
that
mental
wild?
shortcuts, to
Yeah.
judge me, okay, then I'll give you something positive to judge.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's play the game. Kind of. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, for sure. I did the things. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. I was also curious for the M&A, which sounds like probably the biggest deal you did at your business, I assume.
Yeah.
How did you think about the negotiation? Or did you guys just hire a banker or something, or banking team to do the negotiations for the actual M&A?
Yeah, that was a bit of a journey there. But I remember most of the negotiations we held ourselves. When we found this company, we had many meetings with the owner.
The parking company.
Yes, and we did have like some advice, and we had these like private equity company helping us, but eventually we for sure we met at the boardroom, discussed like how it should be, you know, drafted the contracts, the points, like what should be in the package, what should be our expectations, what should be our asks in every department. So they did help us from their experience, you know, to put the things in place so we know that we have a fair deal. And we
Who
make
was this
sure.
again, the private equity firm?
Yes, yeah. So we, like, for example, we had to make sure that the owner remains in the business for some time to help us, you know, to take over everything from him. But there were so many things that for sure we didn't expect. It's like always the case, like with multiple nuances that we did not plan for.
Can you share any?
I mean, safety and security, maybe one of the ones that we're not really sure how to build, like, safety, like software safety for all of the systems. So we really struggled to recover some of the things that were lost in the process. But yeah, that was one of the things that for sure was very bold. But yeah, multiple things happened. But yeah, I think that was not hard. It just took time.
It wasn't
But
hard?
because again, it's the negotiation is about finding what both parties want. I mean, I knew what the guy wanted. He wanted to retire. He wanted to go to Thailand.
Okay. Like to move to Thailand or just
He wanted to
go?
retire and then travel finally.
Okay, so he's like a White Lotus kind of guy.
Yeah, he's like let's speed this up. It's my plane is leaving soon.
Yeah.
Kind of, yeah. It's like I got to go.
Yeah.
And then I think,
So he told you what he wanted.
of course,
Okay.
I mean, it was a conversation to
Yeah.
understand what motivates him, right?
Did
Because
you wonder there were hidden things the other party wanted that you had to find out in other ways?
I mean, yes, because not all the people are great at explaining what they want. People
Yeah.
don't know what they want until you start to right?
Sometimes they don't even know it, and then they might not be good at telling you.
Yes.
So there's many layers to this.
For example, that the owner was really protective. He was like very protective, sometimes irritated, and we were like, why is he so protected? And then we realize he just really cares about what he has built, and he cares about the reputation. He has all these relationships, and he wants to make sure that we take good care of it. That we're like good business owners with ethics that like can continue the reputation for him. So we had to prove that to him, that we can do it, that we have done it before with our partners, introduce him with some of our clients to show how we are, operating in the world of business. And I think understanding what is behind the emotion, because he had emotions. Then he got frustrated. It was like, okay, what is this emotion? Let's break it down, and you break it down and you find what the person cares about. I think it's in every relationship that you learn this. When somebody gets mad or upset, there's something, that triggers this feeling. And if you're a good, a person, you can understand how to get to that motives.
So how did you get to that? Like, did you ask around? Like, well, why do you think he's upset? Or did you ask him, like, hey, I noticed you're upset? Or another way?
I think it's just having a conversation and really being empathetic and trying to step in the person's shoes and see the world that he has been living in. It does require for you to step out of how you see world. And I think the best negotiators can do this, that they can see that all the angles for the conversation to achieve the best outcome. And also when you communicate, I'm not asking for more than I need, but this is what I need. And this is, where I would see you contributing and partnering. And when people hear this, I think it gives them security that I'm not going to ask for more than I need. So I'm being honest with you. But for me to feel happy, I need this. And then it just gives security for both parties to say, this is what I need.
Like reassurance.
Yeah.
Do you actually not ask for more than you need?
I mean, I don't think so. I mean, sometimes, maybe a little bit more.
Yeah, because maybe what you need or what you want is getting the maximum value that's available on the table,
I
right?
need to pay you 0. And so how did you convince him to not go to Thailand right away, but hey, we need you?
I think because the other side of the coin, he cared.
He cared about the relationship.
Yes, he didn't want to come back from Thailand and see this company file for bankruptcy, He wanted his legacy to continue, right, in a way. And these lessons, they apply everywhere. Everywhere you go, right, every new relationship you build, I keep applying the same things now with the startups and the things I'm doing in US as well. Like the same lessons learned have, if they're right foundations, they will help you along all your journey.
Yeah.
Wow. Are you itching to start something new?
I haven't
advising, which is great. Giving back.
Is that what you're doing
gain.
in San Francisco now? Yeah. Like, what do you do?
Yeah. So I came here, as I said, with the curiosity about different fields, different industries, different businesses. And I started as a mentor, just like giving companies some insights of like going full cycle with your startup. And I mentored companies, and at some point I realized that I don't really feel fulfilled to mentor people, because it just takes you to some level of impact. And I'm always this impact person. I really want to make a difference, and I felt that there's a gap between what I'm saying with what I can do. And then I wanted to go a step further to be advisor that is actually hands-on. So me and my friend, we started this initiative of being hands-on advisors. And so we tested this concept together with the person whom I started this with. She shifted more towards her roots and the country and the part of the world she's coming from. And organically, like a lot of people from Baltic countries started to reach out to me as well. And so I help few companies from my region to like learn more about US market, to find their partners, find their clients. And that's how it has evolved into agency, basically, where I have helped multiple clients to go to market, to find the partners. And how I frame it is that we're helping to build the relationship layer, because that's something I truly believe from my own experience. That's what gets you, to open that new market. And that's what I have been doing for the last, 6 months, 8 months.
So can you do the 30-second pitch of what you're doing exactly now, what you're offering and what you ask?
Oh, interesting. I love this. I'm going to ask you afterwards. So yes, the agency AI Bridges is a company that helps the US and European companies to go to market in the United States and to expand the market through organic and inorganic sales through merger and acquisition deals here. So my ask is to find companies that are interested to go to market in US and are looking for partners. I specifically focus on legacy industries and help to bridge the gap between legacy industries and AI and technology.
And in legacy industries across what sectors? Are you still focusing on construction or basically any type of company?
Any type of like quiet industry that has been around for more than 100 years.
Okay, got it.
So these are like the ones that hold the world together, as I say, the quiet forces.
Yeah.
Yes.
But still have a lot of opportunity to modernize.
Yes, that's exactly why I'm working with these industries, because I come from a legacy industry and I learned how to build technology within it. And that's what I have been helping other companies to do, is how to open the doors to operators that are not from the world of technology and how to translate technology to them.
Yeah.
In the way that they can understand, relate, and build trust to what you're building. So that has been my focus for the last little bit.
Yeah.
And I really like the space. So if there's someone from the legacy industries, I'm always open to share my learnings
Okay,
and to
that's
see
your
how I
offer.
can.
You
That's
share
my.
the
That's
Yeah.
I can share the learnings.
And the
Yeah.
ask is for them to reach out to you.
Yes. Yeah. And see if I can
One question that
you're trying to avoid your pitch, yeah? No, Alex,
I'll
your
give it
turn.
after this. Although this is a very tactical thing, and feel free to share as much as you'd like. How do you structure your deals when companies decide to work with their agency? Do you work on a retainer model, flat fee? Is it success fee based? Do you take equity? Like, what does that look like?
It's interesting that I actually have tried multiple approaches. As I'm trying to test what is the best, I have done all of the things you mentioned. I have taken equity, like sweat equity, basically, when there's no retainer and only equity of the business. And we usually work from 3 months to 6 months because we work on sprints. And we have a certain goal, and I help with my team to execute on a certain goal with the company's team that are dedicated to work on that. So sweat equity was one of the ways. Retainer is another way. Then the combination of both is the third way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have also done a lot of free work, but that was when I was understanding if this is something I could actually provide value in. And when I realized that, and I also realized that what I can ask for it.
Yeah.
Because I usually, for certain work, bring in people to help, and I pay them. So yeah, the retainer often is the way to go with this model.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I asked that because I've had recent conversations around people who are interested in starting their own consulting thing or working fractionally for other companies. But a very common question is like, how do I price myself? Or like, what does the structure of this look like? But it seems like you're at that place right now where it's almost like a case by case, depending on what kind of company it is and like maybe what resources they have.
What stage they're at as well, yeah.
Okay.
Because depending on what stage is the business, like sometimes they're early, right? Sometimes they're very mature companies. They also have their ways of working with partners. And it's based on the scope of work, on the impact you're making, right? I'm not the person who will consult you and then disappear. I really do what I say. I come up with my superpowers, coming up with very different creative ideas, how to go to market, how to find the right partners, and that's what I also execute on. We have different sprints that we run and test. We have A/B tests for many things we do. And that's why we need people that can execute, and sometimes the company can provide their own people, and then we can plug them in. And so that also changes the way you can structure it, right? Because
do you have a team?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
How big's your team?
I'm building my team out now. This is a good point. I'm actually looking for a person that wants to join and learn from this experience. And right now I'm looking for a person part-time to join on specific M&A deals.
What kind of background are you looking
I
for?
was thinking somebody that's curious around this topic, M&A, and that is coming not necessarily from this background, but has experience with on phone and in email and in general building relationships with people. That's what really matters to me. It can be from whatever industry, but if I see that, I think it's a strong indicator for me that I'm open to talk. And early career, I think, are the people that would be the most suitable for this opportunity specifically.
Yeah.
But let's see where it takes me. And
So kind of like a chief of staff role?
I like this, yeah.
Yeah?
It could be a chief of staff role, yeah.
That one's for free.
Yeah.
Freely giving.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got it. Very cool.
Awesome. We can do our 30 seconds.
Yeah,
you go
yes.
first, or you can do it for both of us. No, okay.
We are yournegotiations.com. We help people with negotiations. Our specialty is in making sure as much as possible that both parties feel like it was a win-win. And if it can be win-win, at least it's not lose. It could be win, neutral, but not win-lose. And our offering is to help people negotiate exciting business deals. Right now we're doing primarily job offer negotiations, but I'm personally very excited in more business deals. And I think the reason we connected is because you said you're doing M&A. So I'm like, I want to get in on more M&A deals as I'm doing a few. We're also doing some contract negotiations. So I want to put my hands in a bit more places beyond just job offer negotiations, which is the primary one right now. Yeah, Alex, do you want to do our 30 seconds?
Well, you covered it pretty well, but an additional ask is if you or anyone you know is in the job search, to feel free to connect us and see if it's a good fit for us to work, or if there are founders or startups or teams that are negotiating vendor contracts, doing M&A related activities, we can come in and help them negotiate and either save money or increase the size of the deal, whatever their goals are. We can come in and advise on how to navigate those negotiations such that they are getting the best value, the relationships are intact, if not stronger, by the end of the negotiation.
Do you have preferred stage or industry?
No preferred stage or industry. We both have worked across so many industries that there's a lot of transferable skills. So Alex was in the military. He's also been in Web3 and big tech. I've also done big tech, VC, startups, biotech, a lot. But
And we're not 50 yet.
Not 50, yes. I also do many things at the same time, like you. But we actually are experimenting now. Up until this point, we have been in the background, consulting one side on how to handle the negotiations. Right now, we're doing a deal where we are doing the negotiations. So we just take it off of people's hands. And
We are representing, we're kind of almost appearing as part of the team that engages in the negotiation.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
That is super nice. Have you ever worked with like companies that are building relationships with influencers, for example, and negotiating on that behalf? Or that would be more with vendors or B2B?
Brand deals and stuff for creators.
Like, have you done also B2C or only B2B negotiations?
We have done everything, and we have been close partners with Beacons AI, which is a one-stop shop for creator tools. And we did a Q&A about a year ago with a lot of creators on how to negotiate brand deals.
Actually, our most recent guest before you was a pretty big creator, Grace, who has a big community for designers. She throws events across LA and San Francisco, but
I haven't published that yet. So
yeah, and we talked a bit about how to negotiate brand deals for creators as well. So also looking for if there are any compelling people like yourself who would like to come on our podcast and talk about their negotiations. You know, we'd love any intros.
All right. That's why you gave me the pen.
We
really gave me the pen. I see. Yeah. Okay.
We do have a lot of asks, but we also have a lot to get. We give so much freely. This whole podcast is free, and it's a lot of work. We have a free newsletter.
But now I have a challenge for you. Now you're going to have to negotiate the sponsorship.
With the sponsorship.
With LaCroix, He's show up in every single episode. Yeah.
Not sponsored yet, but we should make them compete because we have LaCroix and we have a Spindrift.
Yeah.
So we can go either way, whichever has
maybe
the
a
highest
taste
bid.
test. Whoever pays us more wins the taste test on the next episode.
See, this is the challenge till the next episode.
Yeah.
At least to reach out.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for coming on our podcast.
And how can people learn more about you? And we'll include links to your site or wherever in the show notes as well.
Yeah, they can find me on LinkedIn, Instagram, and I also have a web page for the agency I mentioned, which is aibridges.co.
AIbridges.co.
AI Bridges.
Yeah.
Not AI, with AE.
AE.
Yes.
AE Bridges. Okay, got
My name and surname.
Bridges.
AI Bridges. Living in San Francisco sometimes.
We just hear AI.
Here.
There are no other letters
I made
in the
this
alphabet.
joke that in San Francisco people say AI more than they say hi because
Oh,
it's like
hi.
every
Yeah.
sentence.
That's very true.
I'm an AI.
Yeah. Well, we'll include all these links in the show notes. Any final thoughts that you want to share with our audience?
It has been a blast being here with you guys. Thank you so much for having me. We had a lot of fun.
Yeah, this is awesome.
Keep
Cool.
doing what you're doing. It's truly great.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much.
We
Yeah.
will if we're not running out of money. Maybe we're sponsors.
Sponsor.
Yeah. LaCroix.
Next episode, we start also eating here. You know.
Okay, yes.
Yeah,
Actually,
you know.
that has been Alex's podcast idea. He wants to have a
That's-
podcast
Yeah.
where we're eating like incredible food and we're talking over it. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I have one idea. I will tell you off the camera,
record.
of the
Okay.
record. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, maybe that'll be the part 2. Whatever.
Yeah.
the idea is. Awesome. Thanks for joining. See you on the
you.
next episode.